Yeah, that did it. It moved a little. Thank you.
I don't know if that came through the mic.
Probably not. No, you don't have any gates on, so it's fine.
I almost died on the way here, Corey.
What?
Yeah.
Please don't die.
How
did you almost die?
I pulled up to a red light. I literally just told you this, but I'm going to say it again on air.
See, I was playing along with you for radio. We could have just sold it that way, but no, you wanted to break the fourth wall.
Restart.
Take two.
I almost died on the way here, Corey.
The fuck you say? Seriously? Oh my God, are you okay? Oh my God, Jake, what happened?
I think I need to see a counselor now, actually.
I'm a counselor and you need a doctor. I'm also a doctor. Let's first start with a rectal exam.
Yeah. Actually, I have been having some bleeding ass issues. But anyway, we'll move on.
I'm so glad this is not a video medium because I swear I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
No, I was at a red light, right? And the light.
Were you at a red light?
Red light.
Was there also like a green light too?
That sometimes there would be a green light.
So you were playing a little bit of red light, green light.
True. Yeah.
Oh.
It was kind of like that. The person who almost killed me would definitely be shot on Squid Game. Because I got a green light. I started to move forward. Like, this is, there's a little space between the light turning red and then the other light turning green. You know what I mean?
Not always.
But usually there's like, a millisecond at least. Like, there's enough time for you to.
That's enough time for you to get killed.
Right. Well, there's enough time for you to just like make sure if someone's running a red light or whatever, they ran the red light.
Gotcha.
So that happened. It turned green, and I took it slowly. Like, let's go slowly,
Are you sure or did you just mash the accelerator?
No, I didn't. Because, the people next to me, we started to go and I looked to my left and this moving truck just came plowing through the red light. Just like not stopping. And then once it passed the red light, I saw it slam on its brakes and then like pull into a gas station. I don't know what the fuck happened. It was really some what's that movie? It was like Final Destination.
I was about to just say Final fucking Destination shit, dude.
Like if I had driven just, a little bit faster or not seen that car coming, I would totally, because he was hauling ass. Like, he wasn't slowing down. That man was going.
I wonder if there's I remember thinking or reading something that those big trucks like that are actually, it's safer for them to blow a red light than it would be for them to brake hard. Because even if he would have broke hard at the red light, he would have slid through the entire red light anyway.
Probably.
So I don't know why. I could be completely wrong, but I think that there is some clause that allows them to blow through a red light and then stop after I don't know. I'd have to ask my little brother because he's a truck driver, but nevertheless, it's still dangerous. And yes, you had a Final Destination.
Well, it was weird because it's like the off ramp of a freeway.
Yeah.
So I was on the off ramp. And he was on, the other way would be just like a normal, like,
So was he coming from? He was crossing under the freeway,
right?
And you were getting off of the freeway. I think I know what intersection you're talking about.
Yeah, and so there's no reason he should have been going fast to begin with.
Yeah, there's not even enough room to even pick up speed from that point. Right. Because if he blew the red light that you were at, he blew the red light before you on the opposite direction.
Right. Like, that dude had to have been flying. And
there's no way on that street. That street prior to that is just it's nothing. It's residential.
Yeah, and that street is basically just residential. There's no reason to be going fast on that road anyway. So I don't even if what you're saying, like, he should blow through reds because, he can stop or whatever. There's no reason that it should have come to that. Like, he should have had plenty
of that fast.
He should have had plenty of time to slow down. It was really.
Was he heading south or north?
He was heading south.
He must have been. He must have been blazing out of that residential area then.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell was going on. And it wasn't like a semi truck per se.
It was just like a big box truck, right?
Yeah, like a moving truck. It wasn't quite a U-Haul. It was like bigger than a U-Haul, but like
a box truck, like a 20-foot box truck.
Yeah. So
it wasn't a 50 or 62 inch.
Big enough to fuck me up if it hit my little Ford Fusion, or Ford Focus, whatever.
Your Ford would have been fucked.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's why I always take an extra beat when I'm at a light. When the light turns red, I always take an extra beat. And one of the fears, not a fear.
I'm telling you, dude, I did. Like, I'm telling you, even.
You've got to take that extra beat in Arizona, especially. We get red light runners all the time. I take an extra beat. Soon as the light turns red, I never go. Because the intersection that's near my house by the QT, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
That intersection where the QT is near my home, I have witnessed so many red light running accidents there, sitting at the red light. And I always take an extra beat because someone's going to blow that light. They always have. I've seen accidents happen there. I've seen motorcycles happen there. I've seen some car coming east and a motorcycle heading west. And the eastbound person runs the light, clips the motorcycle because he was taking the left-hand turn on the light. Motorcyclist slid from the middle of the intersection to the back of QT.
Jesus.
I've seen it happen. I always take an extra beat, dude. I'm glad you took an extra beat or you would have had a box truck in the side of your face.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Arizona is the worst when it comes to red light run. You know what? That's why I want one of those dash cams in my car. Because a lot of the shit that I see on the roads and a lot of the near-death experiences like what I experience, I want to capture that shit in 4K.
I know, dude. I wish I had a dash cam because, like, it's hard to explain, like, what happened. Because it was like, it could just sound like, oh, a dude ran a red light. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like he just ran a red light, like he was a little late. No, it was like this man had plenty of time to slow down, and he just was.
Yeah, purpose and attention.
He was just not paying attention and just blasted through that red light.
That's the only way he could have gone through that is not pay attention because there's no way that you can have that much speed where you can't stop safely.
The man was either like on his phone or like.
People on their phone in their car in Arizona? What?
Especially like in a big truck like that. That's just why.
I've never understood any of that. My little brother calls me from driving his diesel all the time. I don't understand. Actually, he doesn't.
I mean, just making like a phone call, that's one thing. But
on
like
Bluetooth connected.
Yeah, like whatever. I don't care about that. But like if you're like fiddling, scrolling TikTok on your
getting an old snarling.
Oh, well, I'll make an exception for that.
You'll make an exception for snarling.
Yeah.
If you get in an accident with Jake Woods and the accident is caused by you getting a blowjob, it's okay?
It's fine. It's fine.
You know what? Those are words to live by. 5, 6, 7, 8.
What is up, boyos? This is the Jake and Cory Podcast. I am Jake. That is Cory. What is up, Cory?
What is up, Jake? I need to my e-cig battery is dying.
Okay, gotcha. I thought you were gonna say you need to fill it with juice. I was like, that thing is full of juice, son.
It's full of juice, son. But my battery is dying.
Man, there's so much to talk about this week, Cory, and none of it is.
I hope you're not going to talk about what I think you're going to talk about.
There's the obvious one,
and what's that?
That everyone is talking about,
what?
Over the past week or whatever.
Oh God, no! What?
The Astro World event. You knew it was coming.
Well, it wasn't what I thought you were going to talk about, and I hope that this isn't on your list to talk about either.
Oh, what did you think I was going to talk about?
That crying white boy in the court.
Oh, Rittenhouse? Yeah, I have very little interest in that. The dude's a murderer, and it looks like he's going to get away with it. And that's just the court system for you.
That's the U.S. law.
Yeah, that's just
system that's built against.
I'm just saying, like, that dude's skin color was different. This whole thing would be looking a lot different right now. That's how, and it's fucked up. But no, I wasn't planning on bringing that up.
Good. I'm glad you didn't.
We could.
No, don't want to.
I did want to bring up another crying, sniveling white boy, though.
I don't want to talk about a crying, sniveling white boy.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, fuck. I have no idea what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm probably going to have very little to add.
I was half tempted to, like, pull up the video of him, talking about, because basically what happened with Aaron Rodgers was he, the NFL has a vaccine mandate, right? Like, you have to be vaccinated.
Oh yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, okay.
And several months ago, someone in an interview was like, "Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
Are you vaccinated?" And he goes, "I am immunized." Everyone's like, "Oh, okay. I guess that means you're vaccinated. I guess." And then just last week, I believe, he got COVID. He caught COVID, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, at least you're vaccinated, so you're safe." And he's like, "No, I'm not vaccinated." And everyone's like, "Wait, what? I thought you were vaccinated." So the NFL ended up fining him and the Green Bay Packers, because he is a quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, because the Green Bay Packers knew that he wasn't vaccinated. But what's really funny about it was him coming out and talking about it. And he was in an interview. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm allergic to some of the chemicals in the Moderna and Pfizer." Which, first of all, I don't believe that for a goddamn second that he's allergic to anything.
No,
because later on in that interview, he went on to say he was scared that it was going to make him infertile. And it's like, bro, you're 50 years old. Like, you don't really need to be having kids anyway. But
the same, there's no proteins in the vaccines that are any different than the proteins that are in his shake.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
What a
but like
damn wit. And
then he's like, "I couldn't do Johnson & Johnson because it was causing blood clots." But it's such a rare occurrence that, like, Johnson & Johnson is back. Like, they're giving that vaccine again. It was such like a rare thing. So, like, if you could take the Johnson & Johnson, you should do it. I just don't understand. We had a draft in this country where we sent people to fight and die against their will, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And no one batted an eye. It was like, okay, it's for the greater good of the country, even though the war that the draft was for was kind of a dumb war anyway. But, like, we had a draft, and people who draft dodged, like our last president, Donald Trump, who was a draft dodger.
Your last president?
Yeah. Well, like it or not, he was.
Your last president. You're right.
Yeah. But, like, he was a draft dodger, and everyone was like, that's the one thing. Even the Republicans are like, yeah, fuck that guy. Draft dodging, that's horrible. But we can't have a fucking vaccine mandate that is literally designed to protect us, and it's designed to protect our country. But on top of that, this is not even a government thing. This is an NFL thing. The NFL implemented the vaccine mandate,
and I believe they implemented it before
right.
The federal the feds implemented it, or they haven't even actually implemented it on companies larger than 100 people. They haven't. That's not official yet.
Yeah, no.
But the NFL implemented vaccine mandates just like the NBA did.
Right. Yeah.
I believe they did it way before all of this. And go ahead with your thought. But I thought about something else in regards to these vaccination people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, with well, first of all, then Aaron Rodgers goes on like a giant diatribe about, like, oh, I read 500 pages of notes and did a bunch of research, and I was happy with the research. I'm not a loony anti-vaxxer. I just felt it wasn't good for me and my body. And then later on, he went on to talk about ivermectin, and how he got a prescription prescribed to him and paid for by Joe Rogan.
Of course.
So it's like, did you read 500 pages of notes or did you call up Joe Rogan? This guy is such a fucking chud, dude.
Is he still in the NFL?
Aaron Rodgers? Yes.
Anytime someone is, dude, come on. I mean, you know what? This proves this. You know, this is supporting that old theory that sports players are just big, dumb, physically gifted Neanderthals, but they don't have any brains. They know how to run, jump, and hit.
True.
And that's it. And this maybe further supports that fact or that viewpoint.
Well, and it's always been perceived that like the smart one on the team is the quarterback, and that's what Aaron Rodgers is. That dude seems to be the dumbest one on his fucking team.
That dude's got everybody fooled. He's an absolute buffoon.
Well, and here's the other big part of it, you know, and I've heard this brought up a few times. Back when Colin Kaepernick was in the NFL.
Who actually was at a Suns game last week.
Oh, nice.
And they wouldn't let us shoot him.
Oh.
Film him on camera.
No. Cory is a cameraman, if anyone is unaware.
Yeah. I don't want anybody to think that I was asking permission to shoot Colin Kaepernick.
No. But, you know, that's weird. Do they just think it's like controversial to like have him on screen or what?
I don't know why it was, but he was in the front row. I'm sure TV got a shot of him, but they wouldn't have let the in-house arena people shoot him, put him on the big screen. They wouldn't let him put him on.
Yeah, putting Colin Kaepernick up on the screen in Arizona might be a bit of a spicy situation.
I don't know. He was, and right now with everything that's going on, that Suns organization, maybe I think that's probably what was some of the support behind it, but. It was just kind of weird, but it was kind of cool seeing him, and I've never seen him in person. It was kind of cool seeing him in person.
He still
has all his hair,
yeah,
big. That's how everybody spotted him, because when he walked in, we were like, "Hey, we got the floating ticket dropper balloon back." Oh no, that's Colin Kaepernick's hair. It's huge. He got like 3 seats just for his hair.
But to bring it back to Aaron Rodgers, back when Colin Kaepernick was in the NFL, right? The man wanted to basically peacefully protest the national anthem. So he went to a military officer. I forget the dude's name that he went to, but he talked about it a few times. Because he's like, I want to do this respectfully, but I want to have a voice, you know?
Right.
And the military guy was like, well, if you want to protest but still show respect, the best way to do that is to take a knee. Because you're still showing respect for the anthem, because you're still acknowledging the anthem.
Right, you're not leaving the room.
But you're taking a knee to like say, hey, there's some issues that I would like to address. And Republican right-leaning Tucker Carlson types were like, they need to fire this guy. This guy is a horrible anti-American person, and the NFL has every right to fire him. And, you know, we could debate all day whether or not this is the reason Colin Kaepernick is not in the NFL, but I would debate that's probably why he's not in the NFL anymore. Yeah.
Maybe so.
A lot of people would say, well, he's not that good. Come on, Geno Smith is in the NFL, okay? And you're going to tell me Colin Kaepernick can't be in the fucking NFL? You know, that all happened. He ended up losing his job. Luckily, you know, he's gone on to do great work, and
he's okay.
He's probably made millions of dollars just off of like ad campaigns and stuff.
Oh yeah,
he's doing fine. But you know,
speeches, talks, T-shirts.
The point still stands. Aaron Rodgers does this anti-vax, which actually affects people. You know, you can end up giving your team COVID. You're more likely to catch COVID, and you know, you're more likely to get sick from COVID. Honestly, you're more likely to affect the team negatively by being out like he is.
And kill their grandmothers when they go home to visit their grandmothers.
True, kill their grandmothers, kill them, and just more likely to be on the sideline, which you don't want as a, NFL team. You don't want your quarterback on the sideline because he has COVID. But the Republicans are out here saying, oh, he has every right to do that. But it's like, how come that same logic didn't apply to Colin Kaepernick, who literally just took a knee for 2 minutes and it didn't affect anyone? But then there's Aaron Rodgers, and it's really telling. You know what I mean?
It's extremely telling.
It's really, really telling.
And it's ridiculous.
And Aaron Rodgers is still in the NFL.
Yeah.
And probably won't get vaccinated. And he's still there. And no one cares.
No. People don't care about when it comes to like the ones that they cherry pick. It's all, good Lord, tongue-tied. It's always a double standard, man. There's always a double standard. It's like the same Republicans that are touting that, or not Republican politicians, but members of the Republican Party that are touting against the vaccine, and they're saying some of them are saying because they don't want to get the vaccine because the government released this virus. Republican friends, you do realize that if you believe that the government released this virus, it was your boy that was running the government at the time that the virus was
right.
Allegedly released.
Right.
Duh.
Yeah.
So are you saying that the orange one released the virus?
You must.
Because it sure wasn't Obama.
He wasn't there.
It sure wasn't Biden.
He doesn't even know where he is.
He was asleep. So it must be the Trump virus. Trump went to China, and a few months later, we got the Rona.
That's true. Just saying.
It's a freaking double standard when it's all over the place. I don't care at this point because I don't care that you brought it up.
No, yeah, I get you.
About Aaron Rodgers. I don't care anymore. Prior to this, and I was thinking this the other day. I was sitting back and I was like going through all of my waves of emotion throughout this entire pandemic. I started it off where it was like, oh, this is going to be something that, 30 or 40 people are going to get sick from. And, we'll be boot shooting and boogieing, in a couple of weeks and the government to get this under control. I started thinking, oh, we got that Obama pandemic team that's over in China. And then I learned that they were dismantled. And then it kept growing. And then I was trying to be optimistic. I remember on my blog, I was putting how many cases of coronavirus were being reported worldwide. But then a bigger number on my blog was how many people recovered from the virus. And I remember doing that.
Well, I remember on this very show, you were very optimistic.
Optimistic.
And I was the doomer. And then just a few weeks later,
we switched draws.
It flipped. Yeah.
And so it's always, now I'm at the point where I realized this virus is not about what's in the air. It's not about what it can do to the body. This whole the virus that we actually have that we're fighting against is the virus of human nature. This whole pandemic has revealed one thing, that no one really cares about anyone else but them fucking selves. That's the worst virus that we have. And it just seems like it's in this country. And I may just be blind to what's going on in other countries, but it's more prevalent for me here. I don't hear a lot of people in England protesting and fighting back against vaccine mandates over there. I don't hear, I do see a little bit of it in Canada, of the vaccine mandate, a little pushback from there. But nevertheless, here in this country, this pandemic, this virus is not all about coronavirus. It's about the virus of the fact that we really don't give two shits about anyone else, because the only thing that we can do to curb to end this pandemic and to rid the world of this virus is to do something for someone else. Literally, You wear a mask. Why? For someone else. You get vaccinated. Why? For someone else. It's not so much, there is levels of protection for you individually, but the bulk of it, the only way to really end this pandemic and rid the world of this virus is to do something that's going to be more impactful to someone else. And that is why I feel the root of the problem is. And Aaron Rodgers is another fucking example of someone saying it's about me. It's not about the teammates that trust me to lead them on the field. And also, they're probably vaccinated, so they are protecting Aaron.
Right, yeah.
But Aaron isn't willing to protect them. And all it takes is one. It just takes one motherfucker in there breathing, huddling up. When you explain the story, now I know why that Saturday Night Live skit was so funny. But this whole thing, dude, has always been about doing something that was going to impact someone else more than it was going to impact yourself. And that's the reason why this motherfucking pandemic keeps going on and on and on. Because we are some selfish, egotistical, it's my way or no way motherfuckers in this country. And that's why this thing will be around until all of those egotistical motherfuckers are dead from the virus.
Well, and a lot of it is just like basic, I don't even want to say science. It's just like basic knowledge on like,
yeah.
Like, yeah, of course a mask helps. Like, of course. And like, yes, of course a vaccine helps. It's like basic knowledge. And what really upsets me the most is a lot of these right-wing pundits, and I know I go on about right-wing pundits a lot on this show, but it's worth saying, they're lying, a lot of them, and they know it. They know what they're saying because they know who their audience is. I'm not even saying Aaron Rodgers is lying. I think Aaron Rodgers has been manipulated by these very people that I'm speaking of, like a Tucker Carlson or a Ben Shapiro, because specifically Ben Shapiro, I saw a tweet from him recently that was like, it should be anyone's right to, not get a vaccine, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But then in 2015, he made a tweet that was like, my daughter ended up getting some sort of cough. I forget what the disease was, he said, because you dinguses haven't gotten vaccinated, you fucking dolts.
Whooping cough, maybe?
Something like that, something to that effect. I don't remember exactly what it was. So it's like, Ben Shapiro understands the logic of like, yes, if more people are vaccinated, that protects me and my kids, and I protect you and your kids. But he knows his audience.
Yeah.
And he knows his audience is going down this weird rabbit hole, and he's like, I'll just go with them, even though he'll openly say he's gotten the vaccine, which good for him on that. But
yeah, it's so funny because you mentioned Tucker Carlson. I believe he works for Fox.
Yeah, and they have a vaccine mandate.
Yeah, he's vaccinated.
Oh yeah,
or he couldn't be in the building.
For sure.
And I imagine that, Ben Shapiro, is that his name? I imagine he has a college degree, probably.
Harvard.
Yeah.
Harvard Law.
Yeah, he's got a lot of vaccines inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
Because your ass ain't going to no public school or no university without any type of medical vaccines.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, man. It's like, if you're in the military, vaccine, you have to get vaccinated.
What? Well, there's one question that I cannot find an answer to. What is the root behind the fear of the vaccine? Where did it come from?
Just that it's rushed?
Is it though?
I mean, I guess it's here quicker than, normally they say it takes 2 years and we got it in a year.
Okay, the pandemic's been going on for a year. We're going into December actually it's been over a year since the vaccine has been out, right? Yeah, because the vaccine first came out in September, right?
Yeah, we're getting to that point.
All right, so even 2 years. I don't know how, because we were in the thick of this.
At this point, for sure, because we've had people get in why are you still scared? Maybe at the beginning when it first came out.
Right. But at the beginning, in the height of all of this, when we were all really stuck in our homes and the dolphins were swimming back down the canals of Venice and Mother Nature actually had a blue sky when none of us were leaving our house, the one thing everybody wanted was a vaccine.
Right.
Everybody wanted to get out of their house and get a vaccine. And then we get the vaccine, and now we don't want the vaccine. I can't understand how something that is designed, like why aren't people upset that you have to pay more for a car that has airbags that are, by the way, federally mandated? You have to pay. Car prices went up when the feds required airbags to be put in every car. Why don't people refuse to buy a car with airbags in it?
Yeah. That's a good point.
You know,
the seatbelts, you know,
seatbelts are also federally mandated to work in the car. I just don't understand how.
Get a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt, and that literally only affects you.
Yeah, and if you're in, you know, and according, you know, depending on what part of the country you're in, actually not even what part of the country you're in, but if you get pulled over for not having a seatbelt, it could very well end in your life, depending on what color you are.
Oh, yeah.
All I need is a probable cause.
I was like, where are you going with this? Okay,
I know.
yeah,
I was going far with that. But
you.
I just don't get it. That's the one thing that I just don't understand, how people can just be. I understand if you don't want to do it, because there are some religions out there that don't, you know, they don't believe in like blood transfusions. They don't take the flu vaccines and stuff like that. Don't give me that look, Jake.
Yeah.
I'm making a point. I understand that there are some, but those people that follow that and believe that, if they don't take like the flu vaccine and they work for a place that has a flu vaccine mandate, they understand and they accept the fact they're going to have to wear a mask throughout the entire flu season. Okay. It's the same thing with this situation, where if you're not willing to get the vaccine, then the alternative is for you to continue to mask and to avoid large gatherings of people.
Which you can't really do if you're the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers.
Which you really can't do. Well, you can't do it because the organization that pays you millions of dollars is telling you that you need to do something.
Well, yeah.
So if he doesn't want to get vaccinated, then he needs to retire.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's first and foremost, is like the NFL is telling him to. But second of all, if we're just going off of like he doesn't want to and he needs to mask up, it's like, well, you can't do that in the NFL.
No, you can't do that.
You're surrounded by 60 dudes at all time. So like, even if you're tested every morning, which I know he said he is, and he wears his mask or whatever, but when he goes on the field, all he's got is a helmet. He's not wearing a mask on the field, you know, and he's surrounded by 20 dudes, and they all, you know, tackle him because he's a shitty quarterback anyway, and he gets tackled all the time. They're laying all over him.
And there also is actually not a fully FDA approved coronavirus test.
Is that true?
There's not a lot of those coronavirus tests that are out there, some of them are out there, have no FDA approval. A lot of them are still working under the emergency approval, have been fully 100%. That's why there have been so many false negatives, and many false positives. Yeah. So you can't really put a lot of stock in the tests. The whole thing is that you can't put stock in those tests, but you can put stock in the fact that the tests are more newer than the vaccine. If you really dig into the science,
it's true. Yeah.
The test is more newer. The MDR technology behind the vaccine has been around for 60 some years.
Right.
It's not new. You know what I mean? But I just don't get it. I just don't understand. I really, really don't understand. And at this point, if you haven't been vaccinated or you're not continuously wearing a mask, you're just a dumb fuck at this point.
For real, dude.
You have to just be a dumb fuck.
I have an uncle I won't go into too much detail, I guess. Fuck it.
Give out his name and social security number.
Yeah, his name is Robert Cincinnati. No.
448-7339.
No, and this guy, he works at a church, okay?
Praise the Lord.
That's as far as I'll go. But
praise Jesus.
He works at a church, and he doesn't have the vaccine, and doesn't want to get the vaccine. And he's been spouting some shit lately that's like, I don't believe the American numbers. I don't believe the numbers that America's putting out there. And why is it that so many people are dying here and not in other countries? And it's like, bro, don't you understand why? It's because Florida is not getting fucking vaccinated. It's because you're not getting vaccinated. You're going to die from this shit if you don't get vaccinated, dude. And I try to tell him that, and I'm like, so like, where do you get your info from? And
you say Joe Rogan, I'm walking out of the studio.
He sent WordPress links. It's just some random blogger on WordPress. He's like, look, it's all right here.
That could very well.
Like, what the fuck? What the WordPress?
That could be some dude typing with his foot in his mother's basement.
It could be Corey Blaze.
Was it after the levels?
Yeah, it's just like, and that's how a lot of these people are.
So many of them are. Look at this WordPress link. Look at this Tumblr article. Look at this.
Look at Reddit.
Look at this Reddit link. Look at this Reddit string of these hundreds of tens of people stating the same thing that I say.
And then it's also so confusing. It's like,
it's never clear.
Do you love this country and I can't say anything bad about it, and call it racist, or not? Because now you're saying you don't believe the government's numbers. So do you love this country or no? What's going on here?
So think about it. With so many fucked up things that our government has going on, I've always said this. Our government's shady shit, we don't know about. The shit that we do know about is just the tip of the iceberg to what's really happening. So with our government doing so much undercover shady shit that we don't know about, you really think they got time to lie about deaths and sicknesses when those numbers are being derived from medical institutions that are not government funded, that are actually private entities?
And how do you lie about death? Go to a hospital. It's real.
You think that those...
Ask any fucking nurse that works in a COVID unit. They will tell you.
Those trucks that are parked outside the back of major hospitals like Cedars-Sinai Hospital, hospitals in Florida, those trucks that you see parked outside the back of the hospital that you think are electricity trucks, those aren't electricity trucks. Those are freezer trucks where they're storing the bodies because the morgues in the hospitals across this country are full.
Mm-hmm.
There's hospitals that I know. I know a couple of people, Jake. I have friends in high places. You know me. I know a couple people that work.
You know a guy.
And I know a guy that works for a large hospital organization here in Arizona. They've got those trucks. They still have them.
Yeah. Because
so many people are dying that the little 8 to 10 bed freezers that they have into the hospitals can't handle the number of people that they are just, laundry shooting bodies down into the basement.
You know what gave me faith back into the U.S. government, that they wouldn't lie to me?
Me?
Yeah, you. And also, I don't know if you remember this when it happened. I was like, oh, they're not going to lie to me if the world was about to end. I think it was back in 2016.
Well, the world has ended several times, according to some people.
Yeah. But I think it was 2016, maybe 2017, maybe 2018.
Remember X1N1?
X1N1?
Oh, you weren't alive. You weren't alive for that.
Oh, the H1N1?
No, not the H1N1. When the clocks turned when we went from 1999 to 2000.
Yeah.
That was when they were supposed to say all the clocks.
Well, and then of course, famously 2012. That's when the Mayan calendar ended.
Yeah, the computers weren't going to be able to handle going from 99 to 0, 0. So the world ended 21 years ago.
But
we forgot.
What gave me faith in the government was, I'm trying to find it here. It was back in 2018. Okay, there was a false missile alert.
I totally misspoke. I'm sorry. Y2K.
Yeah, that's it.
Is what it was called.
Y2K.
Please go ahead.
But back in 2018, there was a false missile alert in Hawaii.
Oh,
did you hear about this?
No.
Let me pull this up on the New York Times. Everyone on their cell phones back in 2018 got this message on their phone. Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. So that went out just an early morning in Hawaii, Saturday. People just chilling. And you know how like you get an Amber Alert on your...
I have those turned off.
Well, yeah.
But I understand.
This is not a drill. Seek shelter. Hawaii's fucked. You guys are getting bombed. You guys are dead.
Pearl Harbor all over again.
Yeah, but worse. Ballistic missiles. That's literally like, that could be like nukes,
Yeah.
And for, I think it was 25 minutes, no one heard anything. Everyone's freaking out. On the news, everyone's like, yep, there's missiles inbound. We've got reports from the government, missiles inbound. And then 25 minutes later, they were like, that was incorrect. There is no missiles inbound. Everyone's fine.
Oops, our bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which,
psych.
Obviously something happened there. There's something that happened there that we don't know about, but it did make me go, well, if we're going to get fucking attacked by aliens, I bet the government will tell us now that I've seen this.
No chance. We've been attacked by aliens. They just haven't told us.
Oh yeah. We got Will Smith with the beaker thing. The flashing light,
Oh yeah. The doohickey flasher bobber.
Yeah. Men in Black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I was just trying to think of what that thing was called.
So anyway, Astroworld.
I don't want to get into this. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm just so sick of hearing and talking about this.
Oh, you talked about it on Fat Guy?
No, I'm just with people, and it's just so stupid. It's just I'm sick of hearing about Astroworld. I'm sick of hearing about the Rust movie set.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that if this is Travis, what's his name?
Scott.
This is Travis Scott's fault, then everybody needs to go back and arrest Eddie Van Halen or whatever his name is, Eddie Vedder, because the same thing happened at his concert in 2000 in England. So they need to go back and arrest him.
Eddie Vedder and Eddie Van Halen, very different people.
No, I don't give a This is how much I fucking care.
So like my thing is with Travis Scott, if he was just up there singing unaware, because that could happen where like the lights are in your face, you don't know what's going on, which I believe is what happened with Eddie Vedder. Like he didn't know.
They were working.
What's up?
He was working. Of course he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But the thing with Astroworld, I don't even think Travis Scott holds most of the blame. I don't think so at all.
You think he has any blame?
I think he does a little bit. Yeah, because if you look at some of the videos, he stops the show on at one occasion because he sees people, passed out, and he's like, "Oh, let's stop for a second." And then he goes, "All right, I want to see this fucking place move like an earthquake." And it's like, bruh, you see a dude pass out right there. Like, and then there's videos of him just like staring at it happening. And what happened, what I have found, because I still don't think Travis Scott holds most of the blame. I think it's the promoters. I think it's the venue. I think it's all of those people hold most of the blame.
Mm-hmm.
But, if Travis Scott saw that shit going on, he should have probably stopped the event. And not encourage people to go even harder.
I disagree with you.
Okay. Give me 1 second though.
No, I am.
But I think what happened was, they were filming like a thing for Apple Plus at this event. And that's why Drake was there. because Drake came out and performed as well. So I think they knew something was going on, but they're like, we have all this equipment here. We have to fucking film this. Drake is here, you know, like we have to get this done.
I didn't realize that Drake was there.
Yeah, Drake was there because they were filming a like live Travis Scott performance for Apple Plus, which now, ironically, I'm sure isn't going to come out. Everyone at that show got reimbursed. So it's like, was it worth it? Probably not. But this has happened at Travis Scott shows before where people have like passed out and shit because he just doesn't stop shows. And this happened in Woodstock 99. And I'm going to agree with you. Like, I don't think Travis Scott is going to get arrested, nor do I think he probably should. But
this happens at Michael Jackson concerts all the time.
Yeah.
How many videos do we see of people passing out in the audience?
But
people passed out at Adele's concert too. There was a video of that came out.
But like 12 people dying?
9 people died in a mosh pit in the UK during a whatever
Pearl Jam
concert.
Yeah. 20 some odd years ago. And people got arrested for that. Yeah.
What, did the leader of Pearl Jam get arrested for that though?
Like I said, was
there any blame of the I honestly
don't know much about that.
I look at it a little differently, and I'm surprised that you don't see it the way, or maybe you do see it a little bit my way. You're not putting all the blame on Travis Scott, and I'm not.
No, I think it's mainly the promotion.
Because
sound guy,
you and I are both been on a stage. You and I have both performed. There is so many different layers, and I work for stadiums and arenas.
Yeah.
There are so many layers of shit between the venue or between the attendees and the artists.
Yeah.
And Travis Scott stopping down on his show because he saw one person pass out. That's the same thing that Adele did. Adele did the exact same thing. She saw somebody pass out in her crowd and she stopped her song and had security go and attend to them. The difference is that Adele's crowd wasn't, sardined in. I feel that there's no blame on Travis Scott. Travis Scott was at work doing a job. If you're at work and you're doing a job and the printer falls on someone's foot, is that your fault?
It's not my fault, but if I tell him to keep going, keep working, and then his foot gets infected, I might, especially if I'm like a superior to him.
You and I know when you're on that stage, dude, you're performing, you're in a zone. The lights are all in your face. You're not really paying attention to that. The reason why you're not really paying attention to that, because the concert promoter or the record label that you're working for, you have trust that they're paying attention to that shit, not you.
And I totally get that. But people literally went up to Travis Scott in the middle of the show. You can see it. There's these 2 dudes that walk up to him and say, "Hey, you need to calm down the crowd." And what he did was say, "Hey, everyone put your middle fingers up and let's go crazy." So like, you do hold a little bit of responsibility when you've got that sort of power in your hands. You know what I mean?
It's the same thing that he does that at all of his concerts, though.
But when someone says, "Hey, lots of people are in trouble out there,"
who were those people though? Were they just fans, or were they part of his crew, or were they record label?
I think they were part of his crew. Yeah.
Okay, if it's proven that they were part of his crew, telling him that he needed, then yeah, I would put some blame on him. But I don't think that those were, because the videos that I saw were knuckle draggers going up to cameramen and asking them to stop the show.
I've seen that. I wouldn't call them knuckle draggers. But
yeah, because they were out there in the crowd and they knew what was going on.
They were trying to help.
Sorry, but there's not much a camera guy can do but radio it in.
What they were telling the camera guy to do was to put the camera onto what the fuck was going on there. So then it would have.
That would have never happened. Speaking as a camera operator, you'll never get that out of a camera operator.
Well, that's fucked up. You should.
No, that's not, because we are contracted to do something and we're not there to do that.
And here's
camera
my
operators
thing.
are just that. We're puppets.
And here's my thing.
We're not there to think for ourselves.
And if that is how you feel, Corey, that's fucked, man. I think
that's not how I feel. That's the industry. You're not in the camera industry, so you can't speak to it.
Okay, I can speak to it because I have opinions and feelings on how to feel, even though I'm not in the fucking industry.
You can feel that way, but I'm telling you how it really is.
Let me tell you something. I think a human life is more important than your fucking contract. Okay? So, like, I think if someone comes up there and say, hey, there's people dying there, we need to get attention to this, and you're a camera guy and your camera is up on that fucking screen, dude, if I was the camera guy, I'd be fucking doing it. I would do that. And then the camera guy goes on, if you stay up here, I'm going to throw you off of this lift. That's fucked, man.
It is. But what the camera guy should have done is he should have calmed in to his director.
Yeah.
And said that there is an issue going on and people are complaining that there are things going on. Then at that time, the comm director, the videographer director, most likely had a comm to either the production director, the stage director, or the security director. That's the way that the industry is dictated to go. Not necessarily you taking your shot off of what you're supposed to be doing and basically, quote unquote, sabotaging the show.
I mean,
from an industry standpoint, there's protocol. I'm not saying that the camera guy shouldn't have done anything. He should the protocol for something like that. Like, I've experienced it, Jake. I've been working in an arena and a fight breaks out in the crowd. I'm not going to turn my camera to the fight. What I'm going to do is what I'm instructed to do is to comment to my director, and then my director comms into security or whoever's supposed to deal with that. But I still have to fulfill my obligations. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to do something. I'm just saying that there is a different protocol to do it, to handle it.
And that didn't happen either.
How do we know? Nobody has comm audio from that camera guy.
Well, nothing fucking happened. The show didn't end.
It's not, but you're right. The show did not end. Again, camera guy, audience, not Travis Scott.
Okay, but I thought we've like kind of moved on from that.
No, my whole point is that you want to put some of the blame on Travis Scott, and it's not. There's a lot of different layers that are in between.
This conversation that we're having about the fucking camera guy had nothing to do with Travis Scott, and you can't use that.
It's the same. The camera person I thought it tied in.
No, I mean it's at the same show. I mean, like, what?
Oh well.
No, I think the thing.
I got my arguments crossed up.
I think the thing with Travis Scott is like you see him looking at the people, like you see him like get the info.
Yeah.
So like he does hold a little bit of the blame.
If that is true, that a crew of his, someone that he trusted on his show came up to him and said, you need to stop, then that right there would make me shift my thought, and he would have some culpability in it. If someone from his entourage or someone that he entrusted, a bodyguard, a record exec, someone came up to him or sent a message to him and he didn't stop it, like when all those people were calling Trump from the Capitol during the insurrection and he didn't stop it, then yes, he is culpable. 100% culpable.
Yeah.
If they warned him to stop it, like they were crying to Trump to stop the crowd outside the Capitol.
And there were chances, you can hear it. I don't know how many of the videos you've seen.
They were disturbing. I didn't watch a lot of them.
Okay, but there's plenty of videos where the entire audience is saying, stop the show, stop the show.
Okay, I did see that video, and I'm not saying that there wasn't chance of stop the show, but there's that I would estimate, and we're just judging this from the video, so you and I could have possibly seen two different things. That was a very small group out of a very large group. So it could have been a couple of 100 people chanting it, but it looked like there had to be 40,000 people out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen multiple angles of it where it's like one person's way the fuck over here, one person's way the fuck over here, and you could hear it from both angles.
My take on this whole Astro World thing.
But I will say, if he's wearing in-ears, he might
not gonna hear it at all.
Right.
And if he's behind the subwoofer line.
Yeah. So there is that.
When you're on stage, dude, it's you're so, a good artist will actually make you feel connected, but in reality, when you're on stage, you were so disconnected from what's going on that you have a show to do unless you're in a small, intimate theater, it's really hard to even connect with what's going on out there because you're so focused on what's happening.
Yeah, I would say, like, for the most part, like, most of the blame isn't laid on Travis Scott. Because there's videos of early on people, like, breaking into the venue, and it was obviously overbooked if they were able to get squeezed like that. Like,
and the storming of the gate.
Yeah.
How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's even before Travis even took the stage. This is the way that I look at it, Jake. There are so many layers. Knowing that because I work in arenas and stadiums, there are so many layers between the attendee and the show or the act that I feel at Astroworld in particular, there's so many points of breakdown there.
Mm-hmm.
So many points of breakdown. That show should have never started.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Honestly, that show should have never.
No, I'm totally with you. As soon as the people were storming through, that shit's canceled.
When they stormed that gate, that right there should have alerted. Where was that? Texas? They should have had the local police there. They should have had the Texas Mountie. Everybody should have been out there wondering why these people stormed the gate. That should have been the first indicator. But it seems like there was a breakdown in that video of people storming the gate. You see the little wand guys just standing off to the side, the little rent-a-security guards. Why weren't those guys on walkie-talkies, or why wasn't the people that they were talking to respond? There was so many things that went wrong before Travis Scott even put his inner ears in.
Yeah.
That's why I have a hard time at this point putting any blame on Travis Scott. It's the same thought process that I had when it came to the Rust movie set. I have a very hard time putting any blame on Alec Baldwin because of so many layers between him and that moment. Now, I don't want to go all into Alec Baldwin, but I'm just saying that there's just a lot. You don't understand that there are multiple layers of security, multiple layers of venue. And the fire marshal, they said that the fire marshal sat down and talked with Travis Scott. That doesn't mean anything. Travis doesn't have anything to do with that. You can tell them what you expect, but they know what type of show. Outside of the fact that someone from his team told him he needs to calm the crowd down. Outside of that, I find no culpability on Travis Scott's part.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
It's fucked up from the floor up, though. I will tell you that.
Yeah, I think a lot of the blame goes to whoever was in charge of security and just the show managers,
security, occupancy, the venue, the safety experts there, the city. Because a lot of these large venues are owned by the cities.
Mm-hmm.
There was so many things that fell apart before Travis
the people breaking in isn't just, we're going over capacity. That's just like a huge security risk. You don't know people have guns or if people have, bombs or whatever the fuck.
And
they
people
have
were
in
getting
there.
trampled there. And that was just, a couple of hundred people that they saw. And here's the thing, the video that I saw of the storm in the gate, the motherfucker started on way on one side of the parking lot and got enough lead time to run up to where the trampling really started.
Yeah.
I've said this before, there ain't an inch of this earth that's not covered under a camera.
Yeah. I don't think like like I said, I don't think.
Maybe the same security detail that was working on January 6th was working the Astro World event.
That's what it seems like.
I mean, I agree with you on some of the points that you're saying. I believe that we both agree on the fact that there was a lot of breakdown.
To bring it back to the Alec Baldwin thing.
Oh, sure.
With what it looks like to me, and there might be more, because here's the thing. Travis Scott came out and gave that Dick Weasley apology, which was just like a very bad apology.
I wish he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, it was a bad look. Didn't look good.
Horrible.
And then like him and Drake just like going to fucking, where did they go? They went to Dave and Buster's.
After he should have just separated himself from the entire situation, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think
unless someone came up to him and warned him.
Well, and it's also like, why wouldn't you? If that happened to me, I would have been able to easily pull out a genuine fuck, man, I am so sorry. Like, I don't know what happened. you know, and that's just not what that apology seemed like. But then, like, you know, looking at the videos, because I've watched a lot of these videos.
Yeah.
And it's like Travis sees what's going on to the point where he's like staring at it and like calling it out at one point. And then, you know, and it's almost like, to bring it back to your Alec Baldwin thing, it's like where Alec Baldwin shot and killed someone. Okay, that's not his fault. But then if he were to take that same gun and go, ha ha, you know, that's kind of what it seems like to me. So, so like I said, I don't think it's entirely Travis Scott's fault, but I don't think he's without guilt entirely. So, because you have a lot of power in that situation. You have the most power when you're Travis Scott in that situation.
It's funny that you say that, though.
I think he does. Everyone is there to see him. And if
as an artist, though, look at it from an artist perspective. You really think an artist has that much power?
Yes.
When on that stage?
Yes.
Wow. I don't see it that way.
I think absolutely. They have the most power. Everyone is there to see them.
Yeah, they are, but they're there to work. They're there to do a job, and
everyone is there to work.
I don't see it.
Everyone is there to work.
I see where you're coming from, but I don't, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because I see it completely different. I find no fault on Travis Scott's part outside of if a team member of his told him to calm the crowd down. If that ever came out to be true, I'd change my view. I don't see any fault on Alec Baldwin. None whatsoever. I think they're both, I don't want to use the word victims, but for lack of better words, I think they are both part of a bad situation that was brought on by the breakdown of controls outside of their reach.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that I see it.
Yeah. I do think that when you're, it's come out like, it's almost a little cheesy at this point, all the videos that have come out of like other artists like stopping shows. Like, hey, that person's being groped or whatever. But it's true. Like, you have all the power there. And if you see something like that happening and you're an artist and you know, and not just that you're an artist, you're the headliner of the show. Everyone is there to see you. You can stop the show and be like, hey, let's take a minute. Creedence Clearwater Revival is famous for this, where they say they do a little song where they're like, everyone take a step back, take 2 step backs. Maybe
they should have did that at some of these other concerts,
because it's like, we could see that you're not breathing, and everyone gets all high and like crazy at a Creedence Clearwater Revival, especially back in the day.
I would imagine.
So they're like, hey, let's take 2 steps back. We have the power to do that because everyone's here to see us. And like,
I was taken back to the videos, and you can go out and look at some of these Michael Jackson concerts where people are passing out in the crowds and they're crying and they're going nuts. Same thing happened with the Beatles. Same thing happened with Elvis even before, MJ, where people just get into these concerts and they get into this otherworldly mindset and
just delirium.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Now I've never experienced that, other than when you walk into the studio. But I overall, it's a tragic thing that happened in Astro World. Not taking that away from anything. It's a tragic thing that happened on the Rush set. But unless it's emphatically proven to me that Alec Baldwin knew the gun was loaded, or if Travis Scott was told by someone within his team to turn down, calm the crowd down a little bit.
I just feel like there's shades of gray there.
Lots of shades of gray.
Lots of gray. Like the Alec Baldwin thing, I don't even think there's shades of gray. It's just like he shot the prop gun, That's one thing. But like, this is such a dynamic situation that happened at Astroworld. It's not like someone just shot one bullet.
Yeah.
It seemed like there were multiple bullets throughout the day that happened. And frankly, far more casualties, and so I don't know.
I'm tying them together because I'm looking at an artist and an actor that was at work where a tragic incident happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I'm tying Travis and Alec together.
Yeah, but like if Alec Baldwin shot her and then continued the scene, it'd be a little weird. You know what I mean? You stop the scene. You don't need the director to tell you to stop the scene. You stop the scene right there, and you're like, okay, something fucked up.
So
happened.
you find no fault in Travis, or no fault in Alec, but you do find fault in Travis?
Just a little. I don't know. I think we need more information to.
We'll never get the truth. Though.
Yeah, probably not. But I do think we need more information before I'm just like, oh, it's all Travis's fault. I don't think it is all his fault. I don't think so at all. I think there's a number of people that could have.
Do you find any fault in Alec Baldwin?
No.
Interesting.
And like I said, I've made a fucking full-on case on why I feel the way I do.
I'm not challenging it. I'm just finding it interesting.
Why do you find it interesting?
It's, to me, it seems like they are two of the same birds with different feathers.
I think it's a totally different scenario because what happened with Alec Baldwin is he shot a gun, the scene ended, they took care of business. There were people dying. There's proof that he saw at least 2 people pass out, okay? And the show did the full set. Which
is never anything that hasn't happened before. And just like it's happened before where someone's been killed on a movie set before. What's your
point?
These are things that have happened before,
okay,
and no fault has been placed on those individuals. So why is it different now?
I don't think it is different.
So
I just
people have died at concerts before, and the performer wasn't blamed. People have died people have died on movie sets before, and the actors,
because like there was the Rolling Stones thing where they hired Hell's Angels and people ended up dying. And the Rolling Stones were absolutely held accountable for that. I'm pretty sure there was even legal action taken.
I just think that it's
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the same situation where you've got actors and artists that are engulfed in a bad situation. And how you can find fault in one and not in the other is
they're totally different.
Something went wrong on both occasions.
I don't see them as similar situations at all.
2 entertainers. They're both entertainers.
One is a live concert with thousands of people.
An entertainer.
And one is one trigger.
An entertainer.
But like they're not correlated.
They're at work. They're entertaining. They're doing what their profession is. And something went wrong.
When I cause a car accident, it's my fault. You know, like it's
you caused the car accident. It's your fault. Because you have full control over your car. All I'm saying is that these 2 entertainers working in their field, not having any control over their environment.
I think Travis Scott has a lot of control up there.
I don't think he does.
Why do you think that?
He is under the thumb to perform. He's there to perform. It's not his job to see and find out if someone's being hurt in the crowd. You know whose job that is? The fucking security detail, the ushers, the production company that's in the crowd with them. That's their job. Travis's job. And if the details and security down there find that Travis, that the show is causing more harm, then that's when those people have the power to the buttons of the lights and the sound machines. Those people have the control. If Travis didn't stop, then they should have gotten off their fucking asses and went and shut the show down.
Okay.
That's their responsibility, not Travis's.
I do agree.
Travis is there to perform. That's it.
I agree. It's a group effort. It's a group effort. And like I said, I don't even think Travis holds most of the responsibility.
He doesn't. I don't think he holds any.
But I think if you're a human being and you see this happening and you continue the show, encourage people to jump around, you see people on the ground, that is partially on you.
No, because you're probably continuing to do your show with within the back of your mind, thinking that the fucking security people are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, but like
we really don't. We're both arguing semantics at this point, but I see your point. It's just a different point, a different viewpoint. I mean, and we'll never know the truth. We'll never know what actually happened. We're working off of what we're seeing online and stuff like that. We weren't there. We don't really know. We weren't on the Russ set. We weren't at Astroworld. I'll tell you this. I'll never be on another movie set, and I'll never go to an Open Air concert, even though I have to be on a movie set in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I just think, like, I do think, you think that the artist holds no power, where I think they hold all the power.
And that's funny to me because you're an artist.
The show does, of course. I hold all the power when I'm on that stage.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, the sound guy can turn it off, but like nothing goes on if I don't continue the show as an artist. And that's my power up there. And especially if people are there to see me, and I see people getting crushed up towards the front, or I see people getting crushed, like I would probably take some steps to be like, okay, let's back it up. Like,
you want to play the song that, what did you say? The song Everybody Take 5 Steps Back. What was that group?
Creedence Clearwater.
You want to do a Creedence Clearwater?
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. I just, like, I do hear what you're saying. Like, yeah, you get in the zone or whatever, but like, fuck your zone if people are getting hurt. That's all I think. So like, I think people take this shit, like, they take artistry way too seriously. It ain't that serious.
Yeah. But I mean, even from an artistry standpoint and production standpoint, you know what it's like being on that stage, dude. It's like, if you happen to see something, you're lucky to see it. Other than that, you ain't hearing cheers. I mean, how many artists do you hear scream to the light guy, can I get some house lights? And you can't see anybody.
That is what I was saying before I saw a lot of the videos. I watched a ton of these videos where it's just like clear as day that Travis Scott knew what was maybe he didn't know how bad it was, but he knew something was going on.
But you're not weighing in how most of his concerts are like that, though.
I mean, maybe
most of his concerts are wild and crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think that's just like his show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Red Hot Chili Peppers, a mosh pit's gonna break out.
Yeah, but mosh pits are usually not even that crazy.
No, more people died at a mosh pit than died at an Astroworld.
Not true.
That is so true.
No.
Google that bitch.
What do you mean? What am I supposed to Google? What are you asking me to?
Mosh pits deaths.
Okay. You think more than 12 people have died at one time in a mosh pit?
Not at one time.
Well, then what the fuck are we looking up? More than 12 people have died at a concert. I mean, like, that's just a stupid statistic that you're trying to pull.
That's not a stupid statistic.
One person dying in a mosh pit.
How come I can see some of your fucking point of view, but you can never see my point of view? Never once. You can't even give my point of view an edge of gray.
I just said that I did.
No, you didn't.
How did I not?
You didn't. I've just given you another point of view that more people have died in a mosh pit than have died at Astroworld.
Well, and that's just...
And you just called it stupid.
It's frankly just, incorrect.
It's not frankly incorrect.
Have more than 12 people died in one mosh pit?
Have more than 12 people died in a mosh pit.
Yeah, in a singular mosh pit.
Not in a singular mosh pit, but in a mosh pit.
This was one singular concert. So what the fuck are we talking about?
His concerts are always wild and crazy. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what? This is why I didn't want to fucking talk about this.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't have anything else to say about this. I honestly have nothing fucking else to say about this Astroworld. You know what? I want to talk about the fact that I watched Aladdin with Will Smith in it for the first time on Disney Plus yesterday.
Okay, tell me about it.
Nothing. We're at the end of the show.
Okay. Make sure you check out other
Stupid boob. I hate you so much.
Argue better.
Argue better. You listen better.
No.
Fuck face. Oh, see, there you go. You don't want to listen better. You talk to listen and listen to talk.
What?
Exactly.
What does that mean?
Hey, look it up.
I talk to listen to talk.
Oh, you've got a bright career future ahead of you if you don't know what that means.
So,
dude.
like, you think I'm just listening to rebut?
No, you're not listening.
I do listen to what you're saying.
Listen to talk to listen. Show is over. End it.
No, we can't just end it here.
Well, then it'll be just you talking until you decide to end the show.
You can't bring this shit up, Corey, and not expect me to.
I made my point.
You told me I don't listen. I'm listening loud and clear, Corey.
You told me to argue better, and my way of arguing better is not argue at all.
But you did. You brought it up.
I need my battery changed on my e-cig.
You brought it up. What are you talking about? Oh, check out the other Loadercast channels or shows. Loner Gamecast is every Monday on twitch.tv/lonercast at 3:30. We're doing a thing on Twitch right now where for the next month we are trying to gain money for Able Gamers, which is a charity that all the money goes to making specialized controllers for people with disabilities to play video games, and it's all done for free. So,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So we're trying to gain money for them. We'll see if we actually gain any money for them. But I figure it's November. We want to try to give back on Thanksgiving, you know.
Yeah.
So, join us over there. Check out Fat Guy Radio Show every Thursday.
It hasn't even been on.
We've given up.
No, not giving up. You know what you can check out? Fat Guy Radio Show Snackable. On Monday mornings at 8 a.m. on YouTube. Having a lot of fucking fun putting those together. So check out Fat Guy Radio Show Snackable, because God only knows what the fuck is going to happen with those motherfuckers on Fat Guy Radio Show.
True.
5, 6, 7, 8.